Hey guys, so for today's video I'm going to be doing a painting really of the alien on this sketch cover right here, which is it's just an alien comic book inside. But unlike my previous live streams, I will be painting due to the fact that the sketch cover background is completely black. And if I tried to go in with markers, it would not show up that well, so I'm going to be using golden paint and some tiny paintbrushes to work in the details. So I'm just going to start mixing in some yellows and some greens. Those are the colors that I'll be going with for today. And I've already drawn the alien, as you can see, lightly using a mechanical pencil. That shows up really well on the black sketch covers. Want to say hello to Simply Incredible Podcast and Jaguar. What's going on, guys? So as I was saying before, for this video I'm going to be painting on this sketch cover because it's black instead of the usual white, and so if I were using markers it won't show up that well. So just mixing my paint over here. I'm gonna go grab a different palette. Right. And so for this sketch cover, I'm actually not sure what I'll be doing. I mean, I have the drawing laid out already, but it's going to be more of an abstract, freestyle kind of sketch cover. Just put in the green and the yellow on my palette for this canvas. Those are the two colors I'll be working with. And for starters, I'm just going to start off. I'm going to add some black as well. I want to say hello to Andy as well. Gonna add in some black, that way I can build up in colors. Gonna mix the green here with a little bit of black, a little bit more green for a darker base, and then I'll build up in color as I go so that it can look more realistic. So this is actually my first time painting or even drawing an alien from the movie. I've actually never seen the movie before, but I know that they recently came out with this new comic book series of aliens, so I was like, why not go ahead and grab one of these sketch covers of Alien? And so that's what I did. It's a very interesting process drawing one of these aliens, but really like the way that it turned out so far. So on screen, it's really appearing to be like a super dark color, but off camera it looks like just a deep green, which is what I'm going for. Just a simple yes. Dante the Scrub says you never saw the movie. That's correct. I've never seen Alien before, or Aliens versus Predator. Nothing from the franchise. I need to go ahead and watch that. So just taking a little bit of the yellow and mixing that in just for a slight highlight towards the top. Okay, I'm going to continue to go in with the deep green and outline the rest of the alien. And as I was drawing this, there was a lot of parts that I could not, or I chose not to draw, and I left that up to when I would start painting because it's just easier that way for my process, for the tiny little details that is in the alien's character design. Just easier to paint that in rather than drawing. So yeah. And now that I'm getting closer towards the head, I'm going to add in more yellow. And this is just the base layer before I start adding in a bunch of detail on top. And with the black sketch cover, sometimes it can be hard to pick up color, but if you get it just right against the black sketch cover, the colors will really pop. But it has to be like an even balance. Plus, you don't want to add too much water to the paint. Otherwise, the comic book sketch cover will start to crumple or distort. So you want to be careful of that. So now I'm just adding in more green to the black, and I'm going to continue to work on the rest of the alien's body. And for this piece, I don't really have a reference. I just have a lighting resource. So it's going to be a very free drawing. Right? I'm going to go ahead and add some more white to the palette using golden paint, but specifically the Golden Fluid brand, because in the title of this paint it's called Fluid, so the paint moves really nicely, even though it's not coming out of the bottle right now. I might be all out. Let me see if I can scoop some inside. I want to say hello to Stay Puff 1983. What's going on? Just adding some white to the palette. I got some to come out. Right, I'm just going to put that over here. Okay. Just closing the tube. So I'm going to continue to add just the base layer before I add any specific details to the alien. And I honestly have no idea how this is going to turn out. I was saying earlier, I've never painted an alien or drawn an alien before, so I'm really interested to see how this is going to turn out. Just kind of going with how I feel, especially since I'm painting this instead of using markers. So going in with that deep green again. It's still very loose. This drawing is, I can kind of do what I want. Gonna add some stuff to the background towards the end once I have the main body of the alien drawn completely. As you can see, I'm just trying not to weigh down the paper as much, because since this is a comic book sketch cover and not on canvas, the paper is not as heavy, so it can't really handle too much manipulation with how much water is being applied to the cover. So I just want to be careful of that so it doesn't wrinkle up too much. Want to say hello to my mom in the chat. Hello. All right, I need to add some more green to the palette. All right. I'm going to continue to mix that into the leftovers that I have. Now I'm working on his arm. And when I'm laying down these base layers, I am trying to be conscious and aware of where my light source is coming from. And in the case of this drawing, it's coming from the left-hand side, so all of my highlights are really going to be on this area, and then the dark shades are going to be on the right side, or shadows. We got a few more people in the chat. We got Mr. Miracle Comics. Hello, how are you? Simply Incredible said, do you paint the ones you've sent into CGC and get 9.8s? One that I painted and sent into CGC was the Null symbiote one that I did on the Spider-Man comic book sketch cover. I sent that one in to CGC and I had that painted, and I got a 9.8 on that. So what I've noticed is kind of how CGC reacts to sketch covers as an artist, since that's the only way I've submitted to CGC, is that they really pay attention to the corners. Like if you have a crumpled corner or the book is bent in any way, form, or fashion, that could prevent you from getting a 9.8. So when I receive sketch covers that I plan on drawing on, that's like the main thing that I'm looking for, is if the corners are bent, and if so, can I manipulate them to not look distorted? So that's what I really focus on. So yeah, you can paint in on sketch covers and get a 9.8 if you send it in to CGC. Simply Incredible said, wow, I thought you did ink pens. I'm surprised to get 9.8s for paintings. It's awesome. Yes. For just about every sketch cover that I send in, it is markers, Copic markers, or the Micron pens. That's what I mainly do. But yeah, you can send in the painted sketch cover. I want to say hello to Ramona. She says you are awesome. Thank you. But yeah, the only time I'll paint on sketch covers is if I'm doing a face, and that was before I started to use markers. So I would use paint to create a face, or if I'm working on a black sketch cover, which is what I'm doing right now. Outside of that, for sketch covers, I just use markers because it's just faster that way. Otherwise, if I wanted to paint something, I could just put it on a canvas and go from there. Almost done laying in the base colors. The highlight that I laid down on his arm is kind of strong right now, so I'm trying to tone that down just a little. Right, I'm going in with, oh, I actually need some more green on my palette, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of that on there. Once again, I'm using Golden Fluid Acrylics. It's my favorite brand of acrylic paint. I've been using it since the beginning, just about. I really love how their colors are very vibrant, and the paint is super loose, so I don't have to do too much mixing when it comes to my water versus acrylic paint ratio. Like, it's really smooth, and the colors, well, the paint goes a long way, so I don't have to use as much paint as well. So just going in and mixing just a little bit of more black so that this green is deeper. And I have a light source coming in. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the colors better, but this is what it looks like without the light source. But I think I'm going to turn it back on. Let me know if you have any questions about my process, or if you have any questions just about, me in general or my art. You can go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Roman Curtis said, have you ever done a Blue Marvel cover yet? Okay, so when you say I believe, I would have to look that up. Blue Marvel as in Captain Marvel or another character Blue Marvel? Oh, okay, I'm looking it up. Okay. No, I have not done a Blue Marvel character before. If you're making reference to Adam, no, I haven't done that character before. But if you would like to have something commissioned, you can always contact me on Instagram or through email if you would like a custom piece done of a specific character. Okay. So now I'm just finishing up this layer, working on the rest of the alien's leg and its tail. And recently, I picked up a few new sketch covers. I got one of Berserker, which is a new comic book that was created by Keanu Reeves. And I got two of them, and for one of them, I kind of wanted to do a crossover between Berserker and John Wick. So you can be on the lookout for one of those sketch covers. Stay Puff said, what characters have you not drawn yet, but look forward to drawing in the future? I really have to think about it. One character, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want to mess up. It's a character from DC Comics. And now that I'm thinking about her, I can't think of her name. But she's a well-known character. She's not the cheetah, but she is some form of cat, like a jaguar or a panther or something. But I can't think of her name right now. But I want to draw that character before. I would probably say of characters that I have not drawn, more have come from DC Comics because I'm really a Marvel person, but I really try to spread myself to different characters. So it would probably have to be some characters from DC. Like I know with the recent Suicide Squad trailer, it's got me thinking. I really want to do a King Shark painting. Not a painting, but a sketch cover. And a couple of characters from Suicide Squad, maybe Polka Dot Man. For sure Harley Quinn. DC Comics characters I don't pay enough attention to, so for sure I would love to work on some of the. Oh, Vixen, yes, Roman Curtis, that's it. Vixen. I could not think of her name. Vixen, that's it. I want to draw Vixen, which I haven't gotten around to yet. So yeah. But there's also, I have done a painting of Icon before, but there's some characters that I would like to do sketch covers of, but they don't have sketch covers for those characters, like, Static Shock. So I'm trying to find a way to do sketch covers of the characters, but have comic titles that are relating to them. So maybe for Static Shock, I can do Teen Titans, and for Icon, maybe a Superman sketch cover or a Justice League one. But I just want to keep it relating to that character. Jaguar said a king shark would be awesome. Yeah, totally. So that's really what I feel like working on, some Suicide Squad art since the movie's coming out. Alright, so just about finished laying down the base layer. Gonna go work on his tail over here. And then I can go back to his head and start adding in some more details. I need to add in some more black over here. I kind of did this highlight the wrong way. Okay. Just toning some of these colors down over here. So now I'm just going to go ahead, clean off my brush. I'm going to go in with a smaller paintbrush. Stay Puft said hopefully the Milestone relaunch will get some sketch covers for Static Shock and Icon, among others. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. There's a lot of characters that it's like that, and I really wish they had sketch covers for them. Simply said yes. Have a couple of shoes coming out of King Shark's mouth. Yeah, that'll be fun. Hello, Miss Adolfa. We got Spanish Symbiote. Said, have you seen the Harley Quinn cartoon? Their portrayal of King Shark is hilarious, with Ron Funches doing his voice. Yes, I have seen a couple of episodes of the Harley Quinn animated show, but they moved it up. Actually, it's on the DC app, which I had, but then I don't have, so I just kind of stopped watching it. But it was funny. So I'm going in with a smaller brush so I can add in some details. I'm gonna try to zoom in so I can work it on his head. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of yellow to my palette before I get started. Spanish Symbiote said it's on HBO Max also, if you have it. Yes, I got the 1 week free trial through Hulu for the Snyder Cut, which I still have yet to watch. So I just have too many streaming services at this point with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus. It's like, there's so many. So at this point, HBO Max is not really a priority. Even though they're releasing a lot of good content, it's not one of my main streaming services that I use like that. So as I said before, my light source is coming from the left, so that's where all my highlights will mainly be, the strongest. And then as we get towards the back, it's going to become darker. Roman said, have you ever sketched more than one character on a cover? Yes. Early on when I started to do sketch covers, someone commissioned me to do the Justice League, but on their sketch cover they just wanted Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So that's one that I've done with more than one character. I've recently done a sketch cover of Groot and Rocket. Sometimes I'll do duos. Oh, actually, there's a really, really cool commission that I did. That's at CGC right now. But it is of the bounty hunters from Star Wars. And I did 6 characters in total, 3 on the front and then 3 on the back. So that's not overcrowded. But that one is really cool. And I can't wait to post that. So I'm just playing with the highlights, mixing in green and yellow. Okay. I'm gonna add some more white to my palette. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to see the new Loki trailer, which I'm very excited about. I see people talking about the other Lokis that could possibly appear, like his daughter, which would be really cool to see. Loki is a great character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that never seems to die, even though the Loki in this TV show is not the Loki from the original MCU timeline, but it's still Loki, so I'm excited for it. So as I'm working in these highlights, I'll let it dry and then I'll go over it again with an even lighter color. Just as usual, working in layers. It's the best way to go. Spanish Symbiote. Oh, Stay Puff said, watch your reaction to Loki before the stream. Awesome, thank you. And then Spanish Symbiote said that Loki show is going to have us back at it with the weekly theories, just like WandaVision. Very true. I'm looking forward to it. Between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki, there's like a 1 month gap, which I'm kind of excited for because ever since WandaVision, I've been waking up at 3 a.m. on Fridays to put out those videos, which has been fun. But waking up that early, and usually on those nights I can't go to sleep, so I'm just up, or maybe get 1 or 2 hours of sleep before the episode. But by the time I watch the episode, I'm excited, I'm awake, and then I go ahead and edit it and upload it. I just saw that the colors at the front were a little patchy, so I was trying to go ahead and blend those in. Tracy said, I even enjoyed the Loki trailer. Yeah, I love Loki. I don't know how well you can see how the colors are coming along with the glare. I'm going to switch back to the original brush that I had for more coverage. And I know that the aliens aren't green. I just thought it would be cool to have that contrast with the black background. Just mixing a bit of yellow and green. Alright, so it's kind of coming together. I think I need to go in while the paint is still wet with that deep green because I don't want those highlights to extend that far. I haven't painted in a while. I've been working on sketch covers mainly, so it's been a minute. But I do have a couple of ideas for some paintings that I want to do when I get some free time of the Defenders. I wanted to do a series for Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. It's an idea that I've had for a while, but I never painted it, so I'll be excited to do that. And since I'm painting this piece is going to be more abstract. There's nothing set in stone that I'm really going for. So I'm just feeling it out as I go. Trying to blend in these colors. Just blending a little bit of yellow and green together. Just focusing on laying down any highlights. And then after that, I'll go in with my smaller brush so I can clean things up. Because everything kind of looks like it's still blending in together, and I just want a clear demarcation of where things are separated. Gonna add some more green to my palette. Some more white and some more yellow. I'm actually running low on paint, so I need to buy some more. That's not the color I'm going for. Stay Puft said, looking good so far, thank you. It's just easier to see without the glare when I'm working on the top of his head. Just trying to add in highlights slowly. But there are a lot of aspects to the alien, which I didn't really realize until I started drawing. There's so many spirals and spikes and bones and flesh to capture. So this piece definitely feels more abstract. Yeah, as you can see on the camera, the green is really popping against the black. And I'm going to be adding some things to the background as well. Gonna add some more green to my palette. Back up some. Okay. I'm just mixing in a little bit of green with black. Just trying to blend out these colors. Tracy said, what's your favorite part of this process? I always love it when I begin to see the vision come to fruition. I guess my favorite part of creating is when I start laying in the highlights. Like, I kind of like for my pieces to be exaggerated where highlights wouldn't naturally occur. I like to have it occur in my pieces. I know when I was at school and I had to take a drawing class, that was always my critique from my teacher. He would say that my work is too dramatic due to the extreme highlights and values in my pieces. But that's the way I kind of like it, so. You can see this area transition is not as smooth, so I'm going to try and correct that. So at this point, I'd say it's almost there, like 50%. So I'm going to go back in with a smaller brush so we can get in some more details. Oh, actually I need to add more white. That's not the color I'm going for. Add in some yellow and white to my palette. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Okay. We got we got two gun Pedro in the chat. Hello. Just working on some details right now. So the alien kind of has like these, I don't even know what to call it. It's not like a tentacle. It's like these spirals, but it almost looks mechanical. But that's what I'm working on right now. Just freehanding it. Now I'm just working on some more highlights right now. Then there's like the alien's ribs. So working on that right now. Stay Puff said, would you attempt to draw two characters in combat or action situations, like say Captain America versus Iron Man or Superman versus Darkseid, a throwdown cover? For sure. I guess either for me or the customer, depends on what they want compositionally. Um, for me, I like to draw bigger so I can work in more detail. So it could be a throwdown cover on just the front cover, or it could extend to the back, just so I could add in more detail. But for sure, I could do something like that, or would like to do something like that. Roman said, I like that. Stay puffed. Yeah. I know, because for most of my sketch covers, they're more of poses or static shots, which is something that I'm trying to break out of. So just doing some experimenting with these sketch covers. You know, with the sun setting and these highlights, it almost looks like it's glowing in the dark. It's kind of cool. Tracy said, would you say that art is a talent, a skill, or both? I think it's a combination of both. I think art is something, it can be learned. And it's a skill that you constantly have to improve on if you would like to get better. So you don't have to learn art. You could just create what you want, essentially. And I mean, that's art in itself. I don't think there's anything that's like, that could not be deemed as art. Because if you look at abstract art, it's just whatever the artist was feeling in that moment. So it's nothing specific or even identifiable that time. So I think, you know, it's a skill and it's a talent. So Two Guns said, do you draw any rough drafts before you actually put pen or paint to the sketch covers? For sure. There are rare times where, actually, no, I don't ever go to work on something without, a strong pencil underneath. With this one, it was kind of like a light sketch, but it was still outlined to the point where I could paint it and know where everything is accurately. But for me, I need to have pencils laid down before I start inking or coloring, just as a security blanket, so you know that proportions and stuff are accurate or anything else like that. There are people out there who can just paint immediately, or some people find that easier to just go ahead and paint or draw in their paintings and then go ahead and finish the work. But I am not one of those people. Oh, Firehawk said hello, hello. Love the color choices. Yeah. So this isn't the typical color for an alien, but since the sketch cover is black, I needed something to make the alien pop, so I'm like, green. That's perfect. I'm just mixing colors back here. Anytime I go off camera, I'm just mixing the colors on my palette. Someone said, Tracy said, are you planning on attending any comic conventions? Things are opening back up now. As of late, the only comic convention that I was probably questioning going to was MegaCon, which will be in early August, but I still don't know since it's something that I wasn't planning for exactly. So, would I love to go back to a comic convention? Sure, but I don't think I will. Hopefully, maybe in 2022. Jaguar says Alien looks like she is in the shadows and there's a green light exposing her. That's true. Firehawk says, I know I'm ready to go to my first big con. For sure. I miss comic conventions so much. My art has changed since my last comic convention. I was just, which was for, not Florida SuperCon, but MegaCon 2019 was the last comic convention that I was at. And at that time, I was only selling acrylic paintings, and Now I have sketch covers and CGC slabs. So there's so much that I have to introduce to the comic convention world, or even just going to comic conventions outside of Florida. It's the main goal for when things go back to normal. Tracy said mad details. I'm trying. This brush is a little bigger than I would like, but this is the smallest one that I have right now, so. Two Gun said, kind of like looking through night vision goggles. True. I think I might go in with a little bit of marker or pen to further define some of these lines. Yeah, almost finished. Been going for almost an hour now, which is not too bad. It's actually really good timing. Just gonna finish up on his tail, and then I'm gonna get a marker and then start working on the background. Right now I'm just blending in black and green. Jaguar say, I'd freak out if I was staring into the dark and saw this when I slipped on the NVG. Alright. Just gonna add a little bit more green to my palette. Just toning down some of these highlights. Going in with the dark green again. Sometimes when I get really quiet, I'm super focused. Tracy said, is it hard for you to part with your paintings? No, not really. I don't know if it's like a artist thing or whatever, but there are like very few things that I create that I'm attached to. So like as soon as I paint it, like I'm over it. Or if I sketch it or draw it. So I'm not really attached to my work like that. Tracy said, have you ever considered placing some of your art in a gallery if the opportunity presented itself? I have had my art in a gallery before. There's this place called the Brewhouse Gallery that's local. And when I was 17, I had my artwork in there. And then the following year, I had it there again displayed for 3 months. So that was a really cool opportunity. The Brewhouse Gallery, they really value artists and stuff. So you just pay a one-time fee for the 3 months and you get to keep all the proceeds that you make while your artwork is in that gallery compared to other galleries that may charge a fee for everything that you sell. So it's a really nice environment for the artists. And in that gallery, it's like a cafe and they have open mic nights. So there's constantly people being trafficked through that venue, which is a really nice opportunity. So yeah, I would love to go back there to have my artwork up. Just gonna add some more white paint to my palette. And what I was doing before is just cleaning up certain areas where the brush strokes may have seemed too large for my liking. I need more yellow on my palette. Almost finished. And after I finish working on the final details of the alien, I'm just going to freestyle on the background. Got a few more people in the chat. We got Captain Comics. Thanks for coming out, everyone, to this live stream. Just gonna see if I can add a deeper highlight to the tail before I grab the marker. Alright, I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. The last part I'm gonna do before I get the marker is to work on the alien's teeth. Just doing tiny strokes. There you have teeth. And some highlights. Alright, now I'm going to grab the marker. I don't know if the light will help a little bit. Maybe not. But I'm just going to let this dry for a second. Just grab the marker. It wouldn't take that long for this live stream. Pretty straightforward. Got my white gel pen here. Again, I'm grabbing one of my microns. Then I'm going to grab the PBO marker for the background. Oh, it's actually Posca. Firehawk said it's a great way to relax. This is a new marker. Probably gonna turn the light off so I can see. Just letting this dry a little bit. It's a new marker. I'm trying to get the paint to flow. Alright. First, I'm going to do the final touches on the alien. Let's see if I can zoom out just a little. Now it's super dark. Let's see if I can turn the light away just a little. You can't really see with the glare on. It's not so bad. Okay. So I'm just going to go in one of these micron pens and just clean up some areas that I couldn't really get with the brush. Making sure these areas aren't dry so I don't smudge the drawing. And since it's black, you can't really see the cleanup, which is good. Just want to separate some lines. Almost finished. And I'll be posting the final product on my Instagram page tomorrow at 5 p.m. Okay. Tracy said, do you place any secret codes inside of your artwork? Not any secret codes necessarily. On the back of each painting or sketch cover, I just put the date that the piece was finished, my name, I sign it, and then I put at California Blend, and I also put John 3:16 on the back. And then also on the front, I just put a tiny little signature right here, always in the right hand corner of each piece, so you can look out for those things. Firehawk said killer in more than one ways. Thank you. I know before I upload this on Instagram, probably going to make some slight changes after the live stream. So just about finished here. Just outlining the hands right now. Two Gun said, it's looking amazing. Thank you. This is actually my first time drawing Alien. So, or an alien. I didn't know exactly how it was going to turn out. Just working on the final parts of the tail. Tracy said marvelous work. Thank you. Alright. Trying to get it to where the light isn't glaring too bad. But I still can. Oh, that works. Okay. Just gonna take in or use my gel pen to do some final touches. I can't really see. It's gotten really dark. Tracy said, you said it was your first time drawing Alien. Why did you choose to draw it? I know recently they came out with the Alien reboot comic, so I was very intrigued to get this new sketch cover, so I just picked it up. Stay Puff said, would love to see you do a Alien sketch cover with Ellen Ripley. Oh yes, holding the gun for sure. I actually have another Alien sketch cover, so I could probably do that. Roman said, great work. Thank you. Just working on the final pieces of the tail. For the background, just want to add some splatters. Just going to grab my Posca marker. Start coloring that. Just going to move this out of the way so I don't get paint marks all over it. I guess I could put a piece of paper down. I don't want too much to get splattered on the alien. Make sure it's a little dry first. Carefully lift that up. And then go on the other side. Just letting it dry. Second one out. Looking for my bigger Posca marker. Two Gun said, don't know if you're familiar with Rob Liefeld. He seems to have trouble drawing feet. Is there any part of the human anatomy that gives you the most trouble? Yes, very familiar with Rob Liefeld and his struggles with feet. Are there any parts of anatomy that I struggle with? I used to have a problem with drawing hands. It was very difficult, but I've gotten much better. So it's not that really bad as it was before. But yeah, I would say probably hands. Stay Puff said nice. Cool seeing the process. Tracy said interesting process. Yes. Normally with the splatters, I'll do that before. Like for example, if I'm doing a Star Wars sketch cover with a galaxy background, I'll do the background first. So no splatters get on the character, but since it's alien, it's kind of wild and cosmic, so I don't mind. Roman said, sprinkle me. LOL. Right. I need to get more paint come out of this one. This one is just a bigger one, so you can get wilder splats with the larger Posca marker. That's what I'm going for. Like I said, this piece isn't supposed to be like, you know, super clean or cool. It's an alien, you know? I want it to be a little rough of sorts. Just gonna let this dry so I don't smear anything. Alright. And for sure, when I post it tomorrow, you'll be able to see it much better. The glare and the camera's not doing it quite the justice. But I will be posting this tomorrow on my Instagram page, 5 p.m. so you can see what it looks like or if I add anything to it. So yes, this is my first alien drawing that I've done on a sketch cover or at all. Thank you guys so much for coming out to this live stream, and I'm looking forward to doing many more live streams with you guys. Thanks for coming out.